But yeah, so the story that I was reading last night, while I was going through my phone before I went to bed, um, was that Trump removed the head of climate for his like normal, I think it's annual science report, or it's like biannual. Anyways, the guy's name is Michael Cooperberg, and the guy basically is responsible for drawing up a readout of what the country's, essentially like emission output is and what the state of the climate is for the country and stuff like that. And Trump has decided to demote him back to his original position. So the reason why this stuck out to me is, for anybody listening, is that when we saw the first debate, I remember John said you saw him duck the climate control issues.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, he kind of did. And then I read this and I was just like, whoa. So my tinfoil hat came out and I was just like, yo, what's he doing? Or what's he know? Or
He
like,
solved that shit. Trump
yeah, like
solved
what's.
climate control.
I don't think he honestly cares.
He's on his way out, dog. That's what he thinks.
Because I tried to do a little bit of research before this, because when you gave me the heads up that you're going to bring this, I did a little bit of research. And from my understanding is they had a dispute on some kind of like carbon thing that he was trying to implement. I forgot the guy's name already.
Dispute.
Not only scientific, I think it was something financially he wanted to do with carbon specifically. And I guess Trump was like, no. And
So
led to
the
this
scientists
kind
wanted to do it, or Trump wanted to do
Because
it?
No,
what you're
he wanted to
saying is,
implement-
yeah, I'm about to say
he
that's a
wanted to
big implement.
it wanted to implement something. Not Trump. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure on that. They did a very light, brush up on it to get an understanding.
What you just said was
going on.
major, though.
What I
Did you not peep what the fuck you just said? You just said the scientists wanted to do something with carbon, and Trump said no. Sounds like he was trying to do something with alternative energy,
no.
and Trump was like,
no, that's not what I was saying at all.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, what he wanted was something to do, I think, financially with carbon specifically. I'm not sure if it was increase like the pricing or decrease pricing. Obviously, I'm assuming it has to be something with increase. Otherwise, why would Trump fire him? Why would there be a dispute over that? I think I still have the art. Let me double check what it was.
So the article that I read was from Politico, and I don't actually know if
I think I read
don't
the
know if
same
it's
article.
Politico or Politico, but either way,
It's Politico, I think.
they lean a little bit more left, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think so,
their
at least my
statement.
personal opinion.
I would agree with that though, because sometimes I feel like it's more leftist. Well, not leftist, but like a little bit more in that direction. So anyway, one of their
Progressive?
statements says on Friday, Neil Chatterjee was removed from the FERC chair on Friday after advocating for opening up markets to renewable sources and exploring carbon pricing.
Carbon pricing.
I think that might be what you're talking about. Trump probably didn't want people to start haggling carbon pricing. And I actually don't even know what that really means.
Yeah, I'm
to
not
tell you
sure.
the truth.
Yeah, same.
I do know that, like, I mean, most of Trump's, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, rural voters were out of the oil industry, especially with, like, Pennsylvania with all the campaigning he did up there and stuff like that, and all the promises
He brought
made
a
to protect
literal
those industries.
oiler to his campaign rally in Pennsylvania. That was fucking funny.
Yeah, dude, the guy should just start the Oilers, the Houston Oilers again, and just be like, here we go.
But back to what I was saying, I think there you go, carbon pricing. I think he wanted to do something like increase the price. Otherwise, why would Trump, fire him to get, like you said, put our tinfoil hats on? Because
Like actual just carbon, like the element.
yeah. Because scientifically, how it affects the CO2 emissions and stuff like that, how it affects our ozone layer and all the other stuff. It's the issue is,
so when you talk about carbon pricing, you're talking about, for example, making it more
anything
expensive to emit.
Yeah, any kind of
carbon.
emissions that
Okay.
emit a carbon probably based emission or something like
Okay.
that. If I'm trying to make sense of it,
Okay.
to
That makes
scientifically
sense.
speak it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
like the
thinking
only
this
thing
nigga
I
was
can
trying to
think
charge
of
for
is
carbon on
that.
the low.
No.
Well, nah, he was trying to like make it more expensive so that people aren't incentivized to buy it.
Yeah, I
or
think
to buy machines that use it.
that would make that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of like a smoker's tax.
Sorry, I was struggling to get that out. Thank you for that, John.
Yeah, it's fine. Like a smoker's tax.
Oh, okay. And if that's what it is, and that makes sense to me why Trump would fire him, because he was obviously against that. He's all for carbon.
That boy love carbon, boy. That boy Trump love him for carbon, man. Oh man, that's weird. I mean, I don't know. I
I mean,
don't
at the end
have
of the
too
day,
much.
what it comes down to this is whether or not I guess you really believe in climate change or how you feel about climate change or anything like that. If this like me personally, like I mean, I care about climate change. I just don't think it's as intense as people are making it out to seem.
I'll say
I do
this.
believe we need to make some changes, but to the degree that the changes want to be made seems kind of severe. It's
I
like
remember as a kid on Halloween Day it being está frío, and this year it was a little warm on the little warm side.
I wasn't here in Georgia at the time, so but in Texas it was nice.
It was
I'm
a
not gonna
little
lie to
warm
you.
in Georgia, like for Halloween. Even this week, we've had some days where I walk outside expecting this jacket action, and it don't be as necessary. So I don't know if that's global warming or just fucking. We've never lived on Earth for this long before, so we don't know anything.
If
That's just also a possibility that the cycle of Earth
there's several,
is not
That's-
as short as we think.
Well, it's
and
not
this
even
is just
that.
part of one long ass cycle.
this is an argument for this. I don't really want to get in the argument of climate change, but there is I could probably find the graph I wanted to where it shows a graph of the fluctuation in Earth's weather over like how far back they go. I don't know if they start from the beginning of Earth as far back as we can go
Yeah.
to now. There's a pattern of how the weather fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, climate does change, but we're not really sure if it's because of
Of
us
us or
or
not.
if it's
Mhm.
because of the natural fluctuations of the Earth.
No, I
So,
kinda wish-
for
I
me,
don't
the
disagree that there's
biggest,
some human elements that are definitely
sure.
affecting things like our oceans, like we pollute too much in our ocean. We got to
Yeah.
do something about that. Let's be honest. But to the degree that we're affecting the climate to what they're saying, it's like, man, I don't know. I agree we got to make changes, but like in 10 years we're screwed. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about no 10 years.
Well, for me, the biggest, I guess, like indicator of climate change, and I don't know if it's like a massive, like you said, like a massive footprint, but it's just smog, man. Like when you envelop an
Yeah.
entire area with nothing but smoke because everyone there is emitting carbon and the air is literally thick and dense.
Well, I don't like going to the
because-
cities, man. I drive north.
Yeah, we know that is true. Like even now, when the pandemic hit and everyone was shut down, we were able to see the immediate difference of what 2 weeks of not people driving did to the skies.
Facts.
So that is like for sure proof for me that like we're at least able to manipulate the weather. Maybe like we can't like move hurricanes and make the ice caps melt and stuff like that, but we definitely can affect the air in our general vicinity. So it makes sense to kind of move away from carbon emission. The only thing is like, what was it? Oh, I can't remember his name, but he was he's running in Texas.
But why
for a
specifically
House
carbon emission?
seat.
I would argue or
Um,
ask.
he made a statement that said, in order to get to renewable resources, we have to use fossil resources either way. So
I'm about to say
I
that's
kind of do believe with
entrapment.
that. Like we're gonna have to like start moving in that direction, but we're still gonna have to keep doing what we're doing to an extent, and then just kind of like
That's
gradually shift
entrapment.
away from it.
Imagine if you don't do crack, or you never wanted to do crack, but everybody's doing crack, right? So, give you some crack for a good price, get you addicted, or now you need some crack. Now I'm gonna raise the price of crack. It's not fair.
Yeah,
Fucked
see,
up.
that is the hard part. I'd rather lower the prices on like hybrid cars.
Yeah,
And
I was about to
then
say that's
give them
Gotta incentivize, exactly.
Yeah, like you don't do that because
Yeah.
people are driving cars because that's what they have. Like they didn't go to the manufacturer in the 90s or
It's
early
cheap, it's
2000s
accessible.
and say make cars inefficient. They didn't. People didn't ask for
Some
this.
parts are
So
interchangeable.
why
There's
should
already
people be
businesses
the
around
ones
it.
penalized for?
You're gonna fuck up
like-
the entire market that is the automobile industry
Like,
in
for
America,
what?
all the way down to mechanics.
Hey, guy,
Alteration
fuck
shops.
you.
You're asking an entire industry to adapt. Like I'm not saying they don't need to adapt, but to adapt within the extreme of within 10 years, that's a lot.
I think the little cash for clunkers.
Supreme. It's not
was-
supreme. It's extreme.
I think the cash for clunkers was amazing. I think we can try that a couple more times. We can up the ante on that a couple more times, and hopefully, it's just enough incentive. It's enough incentive, and eventually, these cars get old enough where it's not feasible for you to be driving a car that's not efficient anymore. Like you turning in your old cars and getting a good what was it?
And then low key, these cars will start becoming collectibles because there's car collectors out there now. Now these cars
Exactly.
become vintage.
But what was Cash for Clunkers? You were turning your old car, and then he would give you, I think it was up to $8,000 as a down payment or whatever on a newer vehicle. It's fucking fantastic. It's fucking fantastic. Cars were flying off the shelves. It's like getting $8K off of a car. So your $22K car that you were gonna get before, $14K now. Like, come on, dog. You can't hate on that. You gotta do shit like that.
Should took advantage of that.
My
honestly.
issue would be like affecting the people. So you mentioned the industry and forcing the industry to pivot, and not everyone's going to survive the pivot, but I'm a little bit more optimistic with that because the car industry is only like 100 years old. So 10 years out of
Where's your
100 is,
humanity, Doc? Where's your morality?
no,
Just
I
'cause they've
get
been
like it's
around
going to be a
for
hard
100
pivot, but it's just
years.
like, dude, it's only 100 years old and they've already come this far. Like 10 years out of 100, like they're adaptable, man. They'll make it work. And
Also,
I mean, you can say that about automation and everything like that,
Mm-mm.
pivoting for
I
every
agree,
industry right now.
but then this is the thing that we argue as small people, and I say small people because we're not billionaires. We're arguing that these companies won't be able to exist. That's false.
That's okay.
Their profit margin is too big right now, and they're not willing to let go of that. That is an actual problem.
Okay.
They're making too much off the cars, and they don't want to not give it away, but
Why would they do something where they're already profiting off
yeah,
of?
exactly. So it's just like if I'm making
I got
10K
something good
off
over
each
here. Is the
car,
grass really greener on the other side?
yeah, making 10K off each car. Now you want me to make 5K off each car? Fuck you, guy. No, but they can do it. These things, this pivot that we're talking about, they can definitely pivot. It will cost money, but they'll still be making profit. You're saying they won't have enough to pay their employees? No, they will, but they'll probably fire them instead so the CEO doesn't have to take a pay cut. Like, that is our problem. We take cuts from the bottom down, even just like we were talking about with my job. Mm-hmm. We take our cuts company-wise from the bottom up. It's not right. So that's the real thing, the real issue. These car companies are like, fuck you, we don't want to make a little less money. But to do what? Make more cars? You get me? Like, at the end of the day, the whole business, the point of do you think does the business itself care if it makes more cars? Like, is it motivated to make more cars? Like, you need more money to make more cars, to sell more cars, to make more money. So what are you not making enough money for? It's retarded to me. That argument itself is retarded to me. Now you're talking about the cost of making the car. Now we're going to say the cost of making a GMC truck is really $15,000. No, I don't think so. I think they're making double the fucking money on each vehicle. And then cars are made of plastic instead of steel now. The outside are made of the little.
I just know the intricacies that go along with cars. That's why I'm not exactly sure. But I understand what point you're trying to make.
And then, why are we dropping cars every year? Like albums.
What do you mean? That's just the way America is, the market's like, why are we doing that with iPhones?
The car industry literally does not have to make a car every other year.
I think it comes down to the company, man, because there's definitely some car companies that are like,
there are some car companies that do that. Well,
they're like the
used to
fast
back in
food
the
of
day.
car companies. Like, you don't even know if it's really meat, but they're just making it. You know what I mean? You can go buy it for $1. And then there's like other car companies that are like, nah, we're gonna, like Rolls Royce, are like, we're gonna put one out.
I would be
every like 10 years.
Every other year?
But I'm okay with them coming out with quote unquote new cars if the only new thing about it is something cosmetic and the parts are still interchangeable. Like, as long as I can use a 2001
I get you.
Audi part, or not even that.
They do that for year ranges though.
They do that. That's why I'm saying that's why it's not a big deal to me, because
it's a big deal because the amount of cars you're producing then needs to be lower. Like, there has to be a balance. So if you're gonna make cars every year, you're
just mad at them for, I guess,
they're overproducing. Like, you're trying to make more
but
cars.
they'd only overproduce if there wasn't a demand.
Out of cars?
You what?
They ever sold out of cars everywhere?
Well, they also dealerships. I don't know if it's dealerships with the car company specifically, but they have like little warehouses out of nowhere with just fields of cars.
Fields of fucking cars.
Oh yeah, car graveyards.
They're car graveyards. There you go.
And at the end of the year, you hear what? Every car must go. Blue, 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 blue. And guess what? Every car doesn't go.
No, hold up. I'm gonna turn you on to some dark stuff about those car graveyards, though. What they do
So
is
we
they
transition
actually
from
make.
climate change to suddenly a conspiracy about the fucking car industry.
Well, no. I remember learning this and I was like tripping out because they'll make a ton of cars, and then they'll watch the market, and they'll be like, "Oh, damn, these people are actually like really fighting for these cars," um, and then they'll like hold on to the cars to raise demand, and then they'll throw out those cars. But sometimes they want to keep the demand and produce like exclusivity within newer cars, and so they'll just keep those cars in the graveyard, and then like if the fad dies, they're stuck with a bunch of cars in the graveyard, and then they can't move them later.
That's
And it's
fucking
just like
crazy.
wild, and I was like, oh crap! So like there's like places in Mexico where they have like the newest cool like limited edition vehicles, and
Mhm.
they're not selling them anymore because they said that they wouldn't after a certain time limit, and they just weren't able to like push them at that amount of time.
That's wild.
All right, let's get away
Yeah, it's
from.
crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. I think we got a lot out of that topic.
It took a weird turn on us. Well,
Yeah,
a fun turn. I feel like.
yeah, I enjoy it.
Like I said, climate change is a freaking
Fuck
the
that.
car industry. Man,
I mean, it's all together, and honestly, like I'm for moving towards renewable resources at a like logical pace. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just completely destroy everybody because they're not 20 years old and can't find a way to do another job. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna wreck a lot of people. And I mean, even as older as you get, man, you always have to be able to adapt. Like even if you're 80 years old, you got to adapt. There's 80-year-old people right now adapting to a pandemic. So I mean, it's just a part of life.
I think the
And
climate is the one thing that you can be as ignorant as you want about, and no matter how the depth of ignorance you are about it verbally, you can still kind of get a pass because it's hilarious. Like if there's a
What
whole
do you
bunch of
mean?
people, okay, I want to start a trend of protesting for climate change.
for climate change, let's change it up.
Let's switch it up. Like, can you imagine the signs that you get to make from that? Climate ... Let's switch it up. You know what I'm saying?
That'd
Or
be so American.
fuck
though.
the climate. Like just a sign
I'd
that
be like,
says,
John, why are you just running your car, bro, in the middle of the freaking
I'm just
garage?
running the
and
car.
What would
trying
he
to change it up.
actually sell though? Just for the
Dude,
trolls would love it.
Exactly. I'd be like, yo, fuck the climate. I'm out there with my signs. Yo,
It's
fuck
too
the
cold.
climate.
Fuck this.
It's cold as shit right now, man. We need some heat.
The guy from The Fifth Element. We need some heat.
I'm out there with hairspray, mad hairsprays, getting it popping, spraying the whole block up. Ozone, take that, bitch. Yeah, man, let's do it. Anti-climate, pro-climate change. Awesome. I found my stick.
That would
Let's
be
do
so
it.
2020 though.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Bro, if that
Y'all think
if
I'm
that
joking?
started
That's
trending
what
on
I'm doing.
Twitter, oh
Alright.
man.
Y'all got me fucked up.
You should
I'm
definitely
really
do
finna
it.
do this. And I'm pro-climate
That's
change.
first.
I just need to find out where they meet.
I'm gonna put the title of the episode as
Bring the
hashtag
camera.
hashtag pro climate change.
And I'm gonna get T-shirts made and a whole bunch of funny ass signs. And you just gotta come out there with the camera. And if they want the smoke, we can get it popping.
Just fucking troll.
You're gonna change this climate up once and for all.
All right.
Let's switch it up.
Yo, so thanks for watching a clip of FDT. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Tune into full episodes of FDT released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Peace.